No yard left behind, the movement to drive more distance back into your game. As you can see, we have quite a few people working on their no yard left behind movement here and trying to drive more distance back into their game. But we're on to segment number 4, and then we are talking about body pivot, another key important aspect to driving more distance into your game. You know, without a good body pivot and a good movement back into your trail leg, you're not going to be able to drive through and utilize what Eric talked about in tip number 2. So what we're going to talk about, and we're going to use a drill here called the line up the club drill, and you're going to need either 2 sticks or 2 clubs. You're going to put the one club or stick on the back foot, the outside of your foot of the trail leg, and then you're going to put the other one here on your shoulders, and make sure you pin it all the way up on your shoulders. I don't want it down here. You got to make sure you have it all the way there and make sure it's connected to your both shoulders. The other thing you're going to need is one golf ball, and I'm going to have you put that out there kind of where you typically have it, and that's going to be kind of an aim point for you as you pivot backwards. So what we do is get in our good body posture, and what we're going to do is try to line these 2 clubs up with one another. So as we go back, we pivot over their back leg, and you can see here I got a full shoulder turn, and you can see the 2 clubs line up one another. All right, the other big thing that I want you to focus on as you do this is your weight, making sure that your weight is all on the inside of your foot. So as you do this, we're going to pivot back. You're going to see that I'm all loaded into my trail leg here. So I'm ready to use that energy to drive through and talk about what Eric did and rotate back through impact, and that's going to drive that distance that you're looking for. Now the third point, what I want you to focus on for a correct body pivot, is to make sure that your front shoulder, your lead shoulder, points down at the golf ball. So we want to make sure that we stay in our spine angle as we do this. So as you can see, I'm pointing down at the golf ball, I'm loaded over that back leg, and I'm ready to drive back through to my target, which Eric worked on in tip 2. So what I see, a couple flaws that I see with most players, is that they either reverse pivot, and what I mean by that is that they pivot over their front leg, so at the top of their swing all their weight gets on their front leg, and what that's going to do is it's going to create a couple different swing flaws. It's going to affect how you work the club back down. You're going to usually work it down steeper, which is again going to cause issues with distance, and also you're going to move into your back leg, and that's going to probably cause your contact to be a little suspect as you go back through impact. So the other big flaw that I see is that when people rotate into their back leg, they tend to get onto the outside of their foot, and now they don't have the leverage to drive back through. So as they move back, they have a little bit of a sway, and their weight gets to the outside of that foot, which is trouble to drive that energy back through the golf ball. So again, what we're working on is this correct body pivot. 3 things. We're going to get a full shoulder turn, so the clubs line up over one another. Your weight stays on the inside of your foot, and you stay loaded, so you should feel a lot of tension here on the inside of your back leg. You should feel it in your glute. And then lastly, making sure that that shoulder looks down at the golf ball. If you do those 3 things, you're going to be set up to drive back through and get that rotation that you need to drive that distance into your game.